Gen V Season 2 Episode 6 review. Let's get right into this. So the episode itself is titled Cooking Lessons. Okay? And the episode literally starts off directly from where we left off in episode 5, which was Marie, Jordan, Kate, Emma. They're all trying to break out of Elmira. And on their way out, they find Marie's sister. And she's there. She's literally, like, she's dead. Okay, she's literally dead, pretty much. And Marie literally saves her. And we find out that Marie's powers she's really powerful. She's literally able to resurrect people using her powers of, like, how she's the Wizard of Blood. And it pretty much signifies that she is arguably the strongest supe. Okay, arguably. If not, like, she's like right there. She's like then second. Obviously alongside Homelander. And this episode further talks about that. But yeah, it literally starts off directly from where we left off there in last episode. And yeah, after she revives her sister, we then see them trying to make an escape out of Elmira. And obviously her sister, Annabeth, she's confused. She's like, it's insane. She's like, how's she even alive, right? Think about it. If that happened to you, you'd be like, what? This is the most trippy thing. But yeah, there's no time. There's no time to remember that. They have to get out. Okay, before they get out before before the whole lockdown thing happens and they get packed up again. Okay, because they're not trying to say another 8 months like before. And they're trying to find their way out, and then Annabeth just starts. She's like, no, this way. She's pretty much guiding the whole team, and they're like, okay, well, this is kind of weird because it seems like she knows her way through. And then she's like, oh no, it's a dead end. And then they're like, oh shoot, we gotta go. But she keeps on looking at the wall. You're like, what's going on here? And then she's like, he's coming, right? That's what he said. He's coming. I think there's something along the lines of like, oh, someone's coming. And guess who it is? A few seconds later, we see Sam. And he breaks through the wall like the Kool-Aid Man, which is a joke they make a bit later, a few minutes later in the episode. And Sam's there, even though he wasn't going to come beforehand. We know his stance on it. But then he got I don't know what happened. He decided, he changed his mind and he decided to come back. Or come and save them. It's perfect timing. And this kind of proves that, oh wait, Marie's sister Annabeth, her powers are, what they say, precognitive, meaning she can kind of, she has like visions, she can foresee the future before obviously it actually happens. So that's why when she says, oh, it's a dead end, like, it's because, yeah, they were there early, right? The vision is obviously in the future, so that hasn't actually happened yet, till it did, for overcomplicating things. But then yeah, they get saved by Sam, and Sam's like, oh wait, I have a vehicle out here, like a truck, but I don't know how to drive it. And then Jordan's like, no, I got it, don't worry. And then they all quickly run over there. And Annabeth and they're all talking, they're all shook up and stuff. But yeah, then one of them mentions, why don't we go, how far are you from Canada, or something along the lines of that. And as a Canadian, I'm like, oh damn, it's pretty funny. I'm like, I highly doubt they're actually gonna go there. Like, I highly doubt, even though the show itself is filmed in Canada. I'm like, yeah, them actually going to Canada in the show. Yeah, right. Imagine. I'm like, that's a whole nother can of worms right there. And then Annabeth's like, oh no, I'm not going to Canada. Ain't no way you're gonna see me up in Canada. I'm not going there. And you can also just sense the tension between her and Marie. Rightfully so. What was it, 10 years or so that they missed? Like, that they lost to seeing each other and stuff, it's insane. So, also going to be a lot of tension there, a lot of resentment, at least from Annabeth's side. So, yeah, it definitely makes sense. But anyways, they decide the best plan to do is find a new car, obviously, because they need to. And, they also find out a place to kind of lay low for a bit, which is what we see. And, yeah, the next scene then we see is with Cipher, of course, and Cipher. Man, Cipher's such a great character, honestly. I didn't know how to feel about him in the beginning of the season. I was kind of like, okay, we'll see how this goes. But man, we're 6 out of 8 episodes done throughout the season, and even before this, okay, he was already solidified. But now, man, he's such a good character. Very menacing, which is exactly what we want from your villain, of course. But here we see more of Cipher just taking care, in quotation marks, taking care of who we think is Godolkin. and he's kind of just helping him, I guess, exercise his legs. Okay, stretch him. And then he gets a call from Elmira Facilities, because we see that on the phone. That's the caller. And he gets the news, the unfortunate news from his point of view, that all of them broke out, but especially Marie. And he's pissed. He's so mad. He's triggered. And he's just like, I don't care about the rest of them. They're whatever. But I need Marie. And the reason why he needs Marie is because Marie is technically like a specimen, right? She is pretty much one of a kind. Well, two, because we found earlier in the episode. She and someone else. They're two strongest Supes. And it's tied in with Odessa. But after this call, after he gets off the phone call, he literally throws his phone. Obviously that breaks, and then he starts. I'm like, are they gonna go there? Are they gonna go where I think they're gonna go with this? Where Cipher starts losing it on Godolkin. I'm like, are they gonna do that? And yeah, he starts just punching Godolkin. He's just so mad, and he even verbally insults him. I'm like, damn man, but this is really good for the Cipher character. Okay, it really just shows you how hell bent he is on just having Marie, controlling her, but also like just how unhinged he is, really. Okay, and then the next thing we see is the whole crew. They finally find a place to lay low, which is, what was it? Some type of library. And then they try to quickly find a bathroom and stuff like that. They find it, of course. And then while Emma's gone to the bathroom, the rest of the team, they're trying to just find clothes, and luckily Kate finds a box of clothes. And they're all just gonna put the new clothes on, but especially Annabeth and Marie pretty much tells her, yeah, I think you should go put clothes on. And then there's another, I'm like, I knew she was gonna say that. I'm like, this is gonna go for another awkward moment here, just because of the whole blood thing. And then it's also gonna get tied back into, just how, I'm not gonna lie, that was insane. The way they opened season 1 was absolutely insane. Well, it's gonna go tie back into like Marie's powers and what she did to like her parents, of course. And here it's very clear as day that Annabeth, she has a ton of resentment for Marie. And well, I'll get to it here in a second, but Marie has a conversation with Jordan and stuff. And honestly, nothing like too crazy. Okay. We can just kind of like skim over that. And then you see Sam. He came back from getting pretty much just finding food for everyone. And then that's when Emma comes out of the bathroom, and then she just makes a joke about how there's no toilet paper, etc. And then they find a phone as they're trying to go back to the rest of the team. And the thing is, it's a stereotypical, like, what do you want to call it, Gen Z type stuff, the jokes they make about the new generation, whatever you want to call it, okay? I don't even know about generations like that. But how older people say, oh, look, these kids nowadays, they don't even, bro, they're so reliant on technology. They don't remember, for example, they don't remember the phone numbers by heart, even like the most important, crucial ones. Right here, kind of makes reference to that. Because Emma, she does not remember the phone number for Polarity. And Polarity, he would have came in clutch. Well, we thought he would, but yeah, that's another thing we'll get in a second. He didn't really clutch up. But yeah, she can't remember. Sam's like, come on, are you serious? What the hell, man? But then she sees that, she's like, wait, I can go on the PC, because obviously it's a vault. It turns out to be a vault building, a broken down or decommissioned vault building. And somehow there's Wi-Fi, and she logs into Instagram. She texts her friends. I forget her friend's name. And then they also see, Sam, and then Sam also sees the DM with Greg, and then he kind of questions her about that. And obviously that's in reference to, first of all, how Emma and Sam, their relationship from season 1. Pretty much a reference to that, alluding to that, because that's why it's awkward. And but then she pretty much texts her friends or DM them on Instagram and said, we're in danger, get a hold of Polarity, he knows what to do. They're just hoping Polarity's gonna clutch up, essentially. And after that, then we go back to Annabeth, and this is where we see Marie and Annabeth talking. And this is where Annabeth just starts going off on Marie, just honestly, bro, this is disrespectful at this point. Like, she literally saved your life. First of all, she's unthankful. I'm not gonna lie. Even if she said thank you a few times in here, I forget what it was for, but nah, bro, nah, that disrespect's crazy. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that's crazy. She literally saved your life, and then she's trying to help you, just protect you, and you're like, nah, get out of here. It's making my life worse. You're the problem. I'm like, this is cruel. I'm like, I feel so bad. I feel terrible. This is very sad. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever had conversations like that in your life where you're just, yeah, you're just trying to help someone and they just keep on blaming you. They're like, yeah, you're the problem. But then again, like in this context, it's kind of like I can't fully fault Annabeth because, like, even though it wasn't Marie's intention when she was a kid, she did still end up murking their parents, right? Which is like, yeah, that's pretty tragic, obviously, but also pretty terrible. Like, and you got to think about from Annabeth's point of view. Now she doesn't have parents because of her sister, and it just literally changed the entire trajectory of her life. This trauma you have to deal with, just everything, everything in your life just changed from that point on, right? So like, yeah, I can't really like fully blame her, but still, bro, she was being like hella like I felt like I'm like I don't know, I just felt like I'm like, is she really gaslighting at this point? I was kind of getting triggered. At Annabeth, but besides the point, and that's the conversation about. But it got pretty intense, and obviously the acting here is great. Okay, really good acting here. Yeah, this might have been arguably one of the best moments from the episode. Okay, really good performances here. But then the next scene is we see Polarity. Okay, we finally see a follow-up for Polarity. The last we saw, he pretty much just fell unconscious right in his kitchen / living room, whatever you want to call it. That's the last we saw. And then he woke up, and I had a feeling here. I'm like, knowing Cipher, he's gonna be here, isn't he? And yeah, Polarity wakes up probably because he sends a Cipher, and you see Cipher sitting there just chilling, man, posted up. Of course, this guy's always just always very creepy, but also always like 10 steps ahead. He knows what to do, and he's like, "You'll be expecting a call from Marie. So yeah, I want you to do this for me, okay? I want you to do this for me." And it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. And Polarity, he also denies. He's like, I'm not gonna help you set up Marie, and yeah, I'm just not gonna help you. And she's gonna see through it anyways. And pretty much Cypher's like, fine, have it your way. And the call comes in, but it's from not Marie. It's from obviously Emma's friends, and they call Polarity just like how Emma told them to. And then you see Polarity just buying into it. But wait a minute, this is where some people are gonna get mixed up. No, it wasn't Polarity just turning. Okay, no, it wasn't him just like going rogue mode for like the most random, like for a random reason. No, that's because if you remember, was it last episode that we found out, or was it the episode before? It was 4, wasn't it? Was it 4? Or was it 5 that we found it out? I don't remember. But anyways, we found out, and this is one of the last 2 episodes. We found out what Cipher, where the Cipher's powers have him literally just controlling people. And here, he used it here. He knew that Polarity wasn't gonna help him, wasn't gonna, just help him by choice. So he had to force it out, Polarity, aka just taking over his body, controlling him, and just saying the words that he wants him to say, as we saw in the previous episode. And that's what he does here. And he literally, it's a trap, right? He sets him, it's bait. This is what it is. This is his plan. And she's like, yeah, they need your help. This is where they're at, blah, blah, blah. And this is where we see, we're like, okay, now we know the rest of them. Now we know they're in danger. Now we know all of them are in danger. And I wasn't expecting to be like in a vault building as a safe haven. I'm like, obviously we need the conflict to progress here. Okay, we need this to happen to get a move on. And also throughout the episode, I was thinking, man, this is the perfect episode. I'm like, we're like 15 minutes into the episode. I'm like, man, this is the perfect episode to have someone like Stan Edgar in it. Okay, because I remember I'm like, man, we haven't seen him yet, and he's in the promotional material. We know he's in the season. And I'm like, if they had him in this episode, I feel like it'd just be perfect. It just makes sense. It just felt right. That's my best way of putting it. Okay, so I'm just laying seeds there for what we're gonna talk about. But anyways, we go back to the library where the whole team's hiding at, and Marie's in the bathroom, and she's kind of just like trying to get a hold of herself and grip herself after her sister absolutely just buried her, to say the least, like verbally. But then Marie gets called out because there's like commotion, and then she goes back and she sees her sister Annabeth having like what would you call it? A panic attack. Okay, and yeah, this makes sense. Unless I'm missing something, I'm pretty sure this is probably tied into obviously the tragic. Yeah, just the tragedy that happened in their lives. But anyways, Marie as her sister, because she still knows Annabeth from their childhood, so she still knows Annabeth to a degree at least. So she knew how to help her here. And she's like, take a breath in, 2, 3, 4, like that. Strategy, some techniques to help her calm down. And that's what happened. And also another additional thing is in the conversation, I remember what conversation was with Annabeth, but Annabeth's like, I want to go back to Pam, but she doesn't understand. Marie knows very well this. Okay, she's used to this. That you can't go back like that. Okay, because then you're gonna put the other people in danger. Okay, because Vought, they know like that. All right, so gotta be very careful the way you move, because in this essence, you're technically like a fugitive, right? So when you're on the run from Vought, you gotta be very, very strategic about the way you do it, because then you're gonna end up putting people in danger. And Annabeth, she's not used to this. She's like, it kind of goes back to the thing like, oh look, you ruined my life. Every time there's been something bad in my life, you're always there. It always happens because of you. Okay, so yeah, that's another thing there. And yeah, then you know what happens? Annabeth starts getting senseless. She starts getting the sense, oh no, there's danger coming. Okay, there's danger coming, because like we said, this is kind of where they found that she's precognitive, that she knows, she can see visions of the future. And guess what it is? I forget his name. Okay, but it's the Viking. Okay, it's the Viking guy. We see him again. He starts going crazy. I thought they were just gonna send, his name, was it Vikor? Bro, I'm mispronouncing it. But he comes in here, and I'm like, okay, we're about to get, what is this? This point, like round 2. Is it round 2 or is it round 3? No, it's like round 2. And I don't know why, but for some reason I didn't expect them to send him. I expected them to send someone else. I don't know why, because you need a powerful supe. I don't know why I expected them to send like typical like just police or I don't know why I thought them sent like some low level people in terms of like comparison to supes. But yeah, this makes sense. And I'm like, okay, let's see what happens here. How are they gonna get out of this? And he caught them by surprise. They didn't know what was gonna happen with the whole polarity thing. So they weren't expecting any visitors, to say the least. And Sam gets manhandled, Marie gets manhandled, Jordan gets manhandled, and then you see the rest of them all run away, and they're trying to get Emma. Kate's trying to get Emma to help. Why can't you like turn big? And Emma can't, because she's terrified out of her mind too. And Sam's trying his best to hold them off, while Jordan is trying to help Marie, but Sam he just can't. Okay, the Viking dude, he's too strong. He's just too strong. At least against Sam. And eventually, then we go to see Jordan just get like hit by the Viking when Jordan's outside with Marie. And then we're like, okay, I'm like, wait, are we gonna really get the showdown here between Marie and the Viking dude? Are we gonna get a round 2 here? And I was expecting, here's what I'm expecting. I'm like, regardless of the way this is going to end, is this Viking dude is about to have the most tragic death ever. This is the most gruesome death. And I'm like, it's deserving, bro. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, it's deserving. I'm like, I'm looking forward to this. I'm like, it just depended upon the way they got executed. I'm like, whether it's from Marie, or I'm like, maybe someone else is going to come here for the save, which would make sense. And then guess what? I'm like, wait a minute. I start connecting dots while watching this. I'm like, wait. Are we gonna see Victoria Newman's kid? Are we gonna see her? What was her name? Zoe come here? Because we did see Victoria Newman, like the recap about her in the beginning, or she was included in the recap. I'm like, this would be pretty random to add if it had no significance to the episode. And then there we see Zoe. I'm like, oh shoot! And Zoe, she's aura farming here. I'm not even trolling. She's aura farming here. And then the Viking dude also, he's like, what's this kid gonna do? He doesn't know any better that she's a supe, or let alone even like her powers are like her abilities are like that, and she literally she's like, nah, no, you know who I am, and she just rips his face off, and then you just see his bro, he's decapitated, and you see his head rolling. I'm like, wow, and this is all happening while the rest of them are all coming out, and they see it. They're like, whoa, what the hell? And then guess what? Right after that, we see the GOAT. We see Giancarlo Esposito. We see the GOAT Stan Edgar back. I'm like, oh my god, let's go. Let's go. It was true. My prediction while watching the episode came true. Let's go. I'm like, this felt like the perfect episode that finally had him in it because we knew he was going to be in it due to the promotion material. And I'm like, wow, okay, this is clutch. And long story short, Marie's like, he pretty much says like he needs Marie, and also Marie's like, fine, I'll join you as long as my friends can come too. And he's like, sure. And then they all quickly go, like into the car, and they head to Stan Edgar's place. And we find out that while they're in the elevator to go into Stan Edgar's place, that first of all, it's pretty secluded in a place that you'd expect that from him. But he says it's 90 feet underground, and it's also protected with a certain type of like materials and stuff, so that the X-rays can't detect them, especially like Supes and stuff. I'm like, I mean, this Stan Edgar, man, big brain. His brain's huge. So it's like a safe haven. Literally, it's a safe haven. But here also you see Marie talking about how, she's sorry for what happened to her mom, to what happened to Zoe's mom. And I guess the thing about it now, another underlying thing here is that Marie knows how it feels, right, to lose her parents, but more specifically even like her mom, right? She lost her, so she can kind of connect there with Zoe. But yeah, we just see stuff here, yeah, and just Zoe's demeanor is interesting, right? It doesn't seem like she's that impacted by it. She still has she's like not really phased by it, which I don't know if they're gonna play by it, like I mean, obviously it's intentional, but yeah, I'm just kind of interested to see how this turns out, because I did get some like vibes throughout this episode about her. I'm like, this is interesting. This behavior, this demeanor from her. I don't know. Maybe it's nothing. I don't know. I could be wrong. But anyways, they enter they enter the cool like bunker type thing, and I guess like Stan Edgar's like, just get yourself ready, and some of them go. Obviously, he makes a joke about how they stink. Obviously, some of them go to get clean up and stuff, and then some of them stay here, and one of them is Marie, and she's like, I want to answer some. And he's like, very well. And then he starts cooking for them. And Jordan literally exposes his whole technique. He's like, I know what you're trying to do. Okay, I know your strategy. Okay, this is your way of gaining our trust. Okay, I'm not fooled to this. And here, Stan Edgar starts spilling the beans about Odessa, Godolkin. Just talking about the whole operation, and we know most of it, but it's like the main thing to take away here is that in Odessa, the main two, they had a whole bunch. They had like numerous kids, babies or whatever, but none of them were technically successful. None of them survived, right? Besides two, and obviously one of them was Marie for Odessa, but the other one was Homelander in what do you say, 1980 in the 80s. So that's pretty insane. And they're kind of talking about the two philosophies for I guess Odessa, with one being Godolkin and the other being Cipher. And so it even more and more it just goes to show here, like this, like last episode was also talking about this, kind of hinting at it, that Marie is so powerful that she's arguably she's arguably more powerful. Like she's on the same level as Homelander, if not even more powerful, right? Which would make her the most powerful supe. So you see how they're starting to kind of like setting this up, and also they're starting to tease that Marie will be the one. Or, well, I don't know if she'll be the one, but I would assume she would be involved in the takedown of Homelander in some type of way. I don't know. I don't know, some type of weight, because obviously she's against Homelander, and we saw it happen in the end of season 1. But yeah, that's another thing. Okay, that's whatever, kind of unrelated. But also they talk about, like I said, the philosophy of Cipher, and Cipher's philosophy is, which is already kind of established, but it's that he wants supe supremacy, but especially like not just like all supes. First of all, he wants supes like just supes to take over. He sees obviously humans as just beneath supes in general. On top of that, in terms of supes, he doesn't see all supes as equal. He sees like survival of the fittest type. What was it? What was the thing back in history? How I forget. I don't remember, bro. I was about to say some history connection, but forget that. That's not what the channel's about. But yeah, he's just trying to get the survival of the fittest, which we'll talk about later as well in the episode. And this is kind of revelation because she doesn't want to be like, Marie does not want to be compared to Homelander. But they're not saying that her behavior is like Homelander like that. But obviously, you would, if you're in the same shoes as Marie, you take it like that. If people keep on saying you're like Homelander, and also they keep on saying you're denying it, but you're like, you can deny all you want, but you are that strong. She kind of gets under her skin. But yeah, like she is pretty much like the chosen one if you think about it that way. Yeah, because she's actually good, unlike Homelander, right? And Stan Edgar has very strong thoughts about not only Homelander but also Vought. And also that has a connection to what happened to Victoria Neuman as well. And then you see a scene with Sam and Emma. And long story short here, Sam is trying to just get back with Emma. But she doesn't want a part of it. And this on part probably has to do with, also has in part to do with what happened previously in the relationship. But she says herself, "Oh, I know you changed stuff, but like, yeah, she's also not ready for it, even comfortable about it." Probably because of Greg. So that's why earlier in the episode when they kind of showed that scene with the whole Instagram thing with Greg, I guess it was a nice little seed being planted for the scene later on. But it was very awkward, obviously. He shot a shot, but yeah, bro, I got my tumbled. Okay, you got, it's good. I got blocked. Okay. And then the next scene we see in this episode is with Stan Edgar again, Marie, Jordan, and who else was? I think it was Kate, right? I think it was Kate. But yeah, they're talking about obviously Homelander stuff, and pretty much, long story short, it gets brought up here that Jordan. We know how Jordan and Kate, they broke into Cipher's house, and there they wanted to see what was in the room, and they found out in the cryogenic tube, whatever it was, that there's a guy there. Okay, the Cipher side is some type of guy in there. And we started assuming, okay, since then, and I remember watching the episode, I watched all these at 3 a.m., but I remember watching them being like, yo, I was tripping out of my mind that week. I'm like, bro, I remember theorizing like 4 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, is that, I'm like, imagine, it'd be funny. I'm like, this is probably a crazy theory, but imagine that's Godolkin. And literally since then, we've been just getting even more teases that it's literally him, and now they're saying, Jordan literally spilled the beans saying, yeah, we saw this dude. And they're starting to connect the dots here with what Stan Edgar is telling them, that it could be very well Godolkin. And then Stan Edgar is like, it's not confirmed, I'll see, but if it isn't, man, this changes things quite a bit. Because he had an original deal for Marie, and then now he's like, yeah, bro, this changes things, long story short. And also, you do see throughout the episode, Jordan getting emotional because she's like, this changes you, Marie, like, who you are, like, pretty much how you're viewed, right? Because if you really are the strong, which, it is true, like, it just changes things, right? It really just put a burden on someone, right? Just imagine on you find out that you're, like, literally, like, arguably the strongest supe, right? Wouldn't that be crazy? A whole change, that'd be crazy change in life. Just the amount of responsibility you have at that point. But then, anyways, Stan Edgar, bro, he's kind of like, he's spooked. He's spooked by this news, to say the least. He can't believe this, and it changes things. That's what he says. And then the next scene we see here is between Zoe and Annabeth. And Zoe's kind of talking about, like, just Annabeth and her relationship with Marie, and she's like, "Oh, it must be nice that you have a sister. You guys must have done like all these things together, right?" But little does she know that no, bro, their relationship is far from that, far from being healthy to say the least. And here you see Annabeth kind of just like getting more like, I don't know, she's getting more like, here she's not as like resentful towards her sister. Here she's kind of reminiscing about the past, about especially the example here, which is about the Halloween thing, how Annabeth couldn't go, or she didn't go trick or treating, but Marie did, and then she would give her half of her chocolates, candies, whatever you want to call it. And it just brings her down to tears. Just think about it. So you're kind of seeing like I guess, some healing starting here. And then we go back to a scene of Stan Edgar, and then Marie pops up while Stan Edgar comes back with documents, and they're about Odessa, and they show stuff about Godolkin and whatever. But it says high frequency whistle and stuff like that. I'm trying to remember. I low-key forgot the significance of the scene. I'm not gonna lie. I low-key forgot the significance of the scene, but man, this episode alone, they abundantly make it clear for a lot of stuff. And also the thing that Stan Edgar is in for it, is that he wants to take back Vought. And Marie was kind of like his ticket here, but with the news that's Godolkin, that kind of changes things. But yeah, that's why he's helping. But and then the next scene, then we see Marie, she's with Jordan, and they're about to go to sleep, and then obviously I can tell you're like, yeah, bro, Marie's not gonna go sleep. Hell no, she's about to like leave. Okay, knowing her, she's about to leave. I can just tell, and that's what she does. You can literally see it before, like, perfect, perfect acting and stuff, and just perfect foreshadowing, to say the least. Because then again, it kind of goes back to the thing that Marie, or what Annabeth says, that it has merit that wherever, Marie pretty much causes like trouble wherever she goes, and for just the people that surround her or just in her life, right? So we don't really know where she's going, or I can kind of guess, but it is open ended in a way. But yeah. Then we see the next scene, which is back with Polarity and Cipher. And Polarity wakes up after being controlled from Cipher. And he realizes that he's like, bro, what have you done? What have you done? And long story short, Cipher just starts like bringing up Polarity, and obviously Andre, right? And Polarity's he's not enough. You gotta stop the Cipher's just this guy's Cipher. He's just a menace. And then Polarity's, because Cipher's literally trying to like just end Polarity here. He's like, you served your purpose or whatever, blah blah. And then Cipher tries to end Polarity, but Polarity, he just uses powers. I'm like, I honestly thought they were about to just kill Polarity there, not gonna lie. But Polarity, he hits Cipher back, and he goes through the window. And then Polarity slowly gets up, he looks out the window, and Cipher's no longer to be there. And the shot that they're showing, which was, from the front, showing Polarity, I'm like, please don't tell me that's gonna be like Peacemaker, from the latest episode, Peacemaker type thing, where we see the window as well, or like the back behind the character, and then they just finish him. I'm like, please don't tell me it's like that, bro. That would be crazy. And luckily it wasn't like that. But I'm not gonna lie, it's not reassuring. It's even more eerie that Cypher's is somehow nowhere to be found. Because this guy's gonna come back like hitting 10 times stronger. Like, yeah, he's gonna be on some devious time, even more devious than he already is. So that's why it's pretty spooky, because we know this guy needs very real bad. So he'll go down anything, he'll do anything possible to make sure that he gets what he wants. Okay. And then we see Marie leaving. But before she leaves, she looks at her sister Annabeth. And I don't know, this is like, my interpretation of it is that she's kind of like thinking about, obviously, like, it's her sister, but also like what Annabeth said to her earlier about how her life, all her problems that she's had, or pretty much due to Marie. And then Marie's probably connecting us to her friends, everyone else, like how it's probably because of her that they're all going through this. So I'm guessing she might turn herself in. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just kind of interpreting it. But as she's leaving the gate, she also goes through the elevator out through the gate, and then you see Kate following her. So Kate was like lurking at night too. I don't know. That's pretty crazy. But she's like, Marie, maybe you can fix my ability. Maybe you can bring back my abilities. Okay, and then I can help you like fight off Cipher from controlling you. But Marie's like, nah, I ain't falling for this. Ain't no way. Okay. We may be cordial, but I know what you are. And then she just walks off, and you see Kate just following her as well. So I guess we'll see what happens here. It's an open ending, but what I will say is, oh man, I forget the song name. But if I'm not wrong, it's a different version than we usually hear, or than I usually hear at least. Oh man, it's a different version of the song, but yeah, perfect, bro, perfect song. I mean, it's a go-to song in general, but the lyrics work perfectly. Okay, such a great choice for the song. And yeah, we'll see what happens here. We're at a very interesting spot. The next episode's the penultimate episode. I don't know what to expect, but I just know Cipher is going to make sure that he gets Marie back. And I'm guessing Marie here, I don't know what she's going to do, but it only makes sense for her to turn herself in, right? Unless I'm missing something, let me know. But I think she's going to turn herself in. That's the only way we're going to really get anywhere in this story. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. And also, there's still other cameos that we have yet to see, and we'll see how those fit in, but those are probably going to be clutch as well. Yeah, I enjoyed this episode. Another great episode. I'm excited for the penultimate episode, or episode 7, and then we have the finale. So yeah, only 2 weeks left. Anyways, let me know what you think down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next one. Peace.